in a very unique way as both a student athlete and a coach at Hawaii Pacific University. Stefan Pampulov came to HPU in 1999 from Nordbern, Austria, and quickly became a leader for the Sea Warriors. He was an All-American in leading HPU to the finals of the NCAA Division II championships before falling to Lander in the title match. Pampulov was a strong presence again as a sophomore in 2001, pushing HPU back to Pensacola, Florida for the NCAA tournament. Alas, HPU again fell in the championship match, this time to host Rollins. The Sea Warriors returned to the national tournament in 2002, but unfortunately, cross-island rival BYU Hawaii was in their way, and a 5-4 match ensued. With BYU Hawaii winning in the quarterfinals, they would go on to win the national championship. Pampulov's senior season saw HPU return to the national tournament for a 4th straight year. The Sea Warriors cruised through the round of 16, beating North Florida 5-0, beat Drury 5-2 in the quarterfinals, blasted West Florida 5-0 in setting up the 4th match of the season with BYU Hawaii. And what a match it was. A 4.5-hour team match for the national championship that came down to the final point. Unfortunately for the Sea Warriors, it was the Seasiders winning 5-4, and HPU was the silver medalist for the 3rd time in 4 years, something that nobody had done before. After serving as the inaugural head tennis professional at the Central Oahu Regional Park and as an assistant at HPU for a season, Pampulov was called on by his alma mater to become the head coach for the 2006 season. He coached the Sea Warriors for the next 6 seasons, directing both the men's and women's programs to annual visits to the NCAA National Tournament, directing the men to a national semifinals berth in 2009 and the women to a national semifinal berth in 2010. He stepped away from collegiate coaching after the 2011 season, but is still active in the tennis community in Oahu. He is now the Executive Vice President and Chief Product Officer at Collateral Analytics. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in honoring a great HPU student athlete and coach who is our newest inductee to the HPU Athletic Hall of Fame, Stefan Pampulov. Stefan, obviously, HPU has been a very big part of your life. What brought you to Hawaii Pacific University?
Actually, it was men's basketball, believe it or not. And I want to thank Coach Celito once again for having one of the best programs in the country. He was a former HPU basketball player who went small, who played my hometown professional basketball for his HPU career. And I was fortunate enough to be a big basketball fan. I was following the NBA and at the same time our home team. So once Luan started playing, he was stand out, and I got to know him. And luckily one day in the gym he was wearing the HPU jersey, believe it or not. So I was curious enough to ask him what do these 3 letters mean, HPU. I figured out U stands for university, but I had no idea what HP means. So he told me Hawaii Pacific. I didn't believe him. He said, yeah, there is actually universities in Hawaii, and I still didn't believe him. And then he said, well, we actually have a tennis team as well, and I continued not to believe him. He gave me the number of Coach Celito and the athletics program. I looked up Hawaii on the map, I couldn't find it. I was ignorant enough to look around the Caribbean islands. I searched for probably 10 minutes until I figured out I better start looking at the glossary of the map. I didn't use internet back then, that was 20 years ago. And it was a dial-up and I had to wait like 5 minutes for the internet to connect, so I figured out I better look at the map. So 25 minutes later, I actually found the Hawaiian Islands in the middle of the Pacific, and I was quite intrigued. So once I talked to Coach Celito and the athletic department, they direct me to a head tennis coach who was a great guy, Henry Somerville, and he was willing enough to look at me. So few weeks later, I was here trying out, and that's the short version of the story.
What did it mean as a student athlete to be part of a very strong program that was continually going to the NCAA?
So when I arrived to Hawaii, the team actually had just made their first appearance at the NCAA. So I was fortunate enough, we had a strong program already. And Coach Somerville at that time had done wonderful recruiting. We had athletes from 5 or 6 different countries, quite experienced. And my freshman year was remarkable. I'll never forget it. We played multiple Division I teams. We beat one of the top 20 Division I teams in the country, and we had great success. It was a wonderful experience, wonderful athletes, and I can't thank him enough for that.
Well, you're being inducted, not only as a student athlete, but also as an outstanding coach. What caused you to become a coach and come back to your alma mater as well?
Losing 4 times to the eventual winner at the NCAA Championships, losing 3 times in the finals match, that didn't sit well enough with me, so I thought that we deserve better than that. I knew that we can bring a national title, so I really wanted to have another shot at it, and the only way I could do is coaching. So I tried for a few years, but then I'll take a little bit credit of Coach Hendrick's title, because I was the one who brought him here.
Is there a special moment that you can share as a coach?
I think there are many special moments, both as a coach and a player. Probably one of the most special moments was meeting my wife, Melissa, through HPU. Please come up. Yeah, HPU opened a lot of doors. HPU was a wonderful experience. I met a lot of students from all over the world, and it was quite unique. I learned a lot, both as a student, as a coach. We had a very unique environment with players from many different countries, so every day was a learning experience. And on the tennis court, it was just about winning. So our first big win against BYU Hawaii, when we were not expected to win, and we actually knocked them out of the regional championships. That's right. And Coach Hendrick was there, so he was a big driver of that win. So that was very good. That felt nice.
Okay, we have one final question for you. Which was more challenging, playing as an All-American or coaching All-Americans?
Well, I would say that playing is always easier because you're the one in the driver's seat. I'm not the kind of guy that likes to sit on the side a lot and just watch it happen. I would like to do it, but I think both can be challenging, and under the right circumstances, if you enjoy the moments and the situations and the pressure, as Billie Jean King says, pressure is privilege. So being in those situations is always wonderful and unique. So I've always cherished them and enjoyed them every moment.
Stefan, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, Stefan Pampulov. There have been many outstanding teams that have